Hi everyone, my name is Julie Schumann and I'm going to be doing my reflection for this course. Starting off with the exploration stage. Beginning this course, I felt that a lot of the information wasn't going to be necessarily relevant to me. I teach a second grade classroom, and so the idea of running a Google Classroom with children who are 7 and 8 years old really didn't feel very achievable or possible. And so I felt that a lot of the information might go over my head, or that maybe I could use some of the information to better communicate with other colleagues, but probably not with my students, especially working in a Microsoft-powered district and a district that has invested in Schoology as its online classroom interface. I just really felt that I would take this course as something that's required for my program, but I wouldn't really get much out of it. What I realized is that the Google Classroom is something that's not as intimidating as I had thought before. Not only is it something that's simple for me to figure out, but because of its layout and Google's deliberate simplicity, it's something that my students could navigate very well too. For one, it looks a lot like Schoology, and if anything, Schoology is a little more difficult to navigate than Google is. And like I had previously thought before, I might not be able to use it with my students all of the time, but I certainly could use it to communicate better with my parent network. Most parents and most people in general that communicate on the internet are familiar with Google, have some sort of Google account, or use a website associated with Google. And so it would be realistic for me to be able to share these tools with my parents and have them use them fluidly. And so I'm asking myself in my conjecture stage, how can I use Google to make my classroom more efficient while setting age-appropriate expectations for my early elementary students? That's one of the biggest things that's kind of holding me back from having a Google-powered classroom, is that it feels inappropriate to ask my 7-year-old students to be able to use these tools the way that some of you guys have shared in your own classroom experiences. So in order to improve my own practice and make my classroom more efficient, by one, my parent communication, I am ensuring student success by having that parent buy-in and making them aware of the expectations of the students in my classroom. It's more accomplishable. So using tools like Google Sites, Google Drive, I can provide easy access to documents and flyers, provide regular classroom updates, show parents photos of the students throughout the day. And all of this will encourage that, which then will help students succeed in the classroom. Not only that, but I could use those Google tools to foster student independence. A big transition that second graders go through is they participate in centers throughout the day. At least that's a big transition in my school. In reading, math, MTSS, and science, students work in small groups and they have to learn to be independent, which is something that a lot of these kids aren't developmentally used to. And so while they're away from a teacher, I can make their work more meaningful, I can reduce waste, and I can foster their independence by using Google tools. Using Google Docs and online checklists, I could upload their independent center work and have them access it online. I could also provide easy feedback, so it's not only I'll finally get to grading it over the weekend and then hand it back to them, and by that point there's no back and forth, but I could provide easy feedback that day, then allowing them to reflect on their own work. Also, the use of Google Keep and checklists can make it efficient for them to self-manage their work without all of the hand-holding that I would need to do if it were paperwork. To be very specific, here are some things that I've been implementing in my own classroom. It's a unique time of the school year. For me to try something new in April and May is a little more challenging than if I were to do it at the start of the year. And so a lot of it's been experimental. I've been asking some of the parents that I'm closer to take a look at things and allow me to reflect on them so then I can improve for the parent network next year, and they've been excellent guinea pigs for me. For one, using Google Slides to produce monthly newsletters. What's excellent is that once I develop a template that I really like, using text boxes and some of the features that are equipped on Google Slides, I can easily change from month to month, making it not so much of a chore to have to create monthly newsletters. Google Drive, I've now gotten to the habit anytime I create a parent flyer, I simply upload the flyer itself to Google Drive and then share the link with parents so that there's a automatically updated system for them to check for information. We all know that papers get lost. I use a text messaging app, but when a parent's looking for a certain detail, instead of scrolling through messages, they can follow this link, open up all the flyers and information that's been passed out, and then access the information that they need. Not only is it convenient, but it also reduces the waste that's produced from printing these flyers over and over again. And then lastly, Google Sites is a great hub. I mentioned in my last assignment that it's something that I've developed so that I can help improve my parent communication. I'm able to share web links that the students can use in the classroom and beyond, and I can upload a weekly agenda showing what we're working on that week, some of the major topics when testing is, special events. Those monthly newsletters that are created in Google Slides can be uploaded then. My contact information for any time that they need me. And of course, being able to upload photos and stories and more anecdotal information for the parents to increase that buy-in for their students' classroom. So Google Site acts as a great hub for the parents to then follow all of these links and access these tools to better understand what's going on in their child's classroom. I think throughout this entire program, becoming better acquainted with the ISTE and TPAC standards has really helped me self-reflect. As a teacher who enjoys using technology in my classroom, I've even signed up for an ISTE membership, and I'm looking forward to an ISTE conference coming up in Philadelphia in June that I'll be attending. So thinking about the ISTE standards and the way that they affect leadership, learning, and student success, starting with leadership, what I enjoy most about them is that these standards aren't asking me to simply tell my students something or teach my students something, but instead it's about fostering their independence and equipping them with knowledge, which is what true leadership is. It is not holding someone's hand through something, but it's empowering them to be able to do something on their own independently. And I think that the ISTE standards really emphasize that for our teachers. Both the TPAC and ISTE standards encourage colleague communication and professional development. I think that teachers are lifelong learners, and by following the standards of TPAC and ISTE, we're called upon lifelong learning. Lastly, student success. As mentioned before, these standards are about empowering our students to do something instead of passively asking them to fill out a worksheet or have a sit and get lesson. And we've seen time and time again that through empowering our students to be more independent, we are ensuring their student success. That's all I have, so I hope you guys have an excellent summer.